appearance that you're looking for, with a bit of more clearance in the wheel wells, and it's really affordable. It's only, I think it was $240 Canadian. So to me, that makes a lot of sense, especially for performance as well, as I think it should. So a couple things to note. So obviously, the only way to actually increase your ground clearance completely on the underside of the vehicle is to put bigger tires on. So something like this would allow you to run, say, up to a 35-inch tire without issues, which then will increase your ground clearance by raising up your differentials. But for somebody like me who rides a lot of snow, this is still going to lift up the frame of the vehicle, even though I'm sticking with my 33-inch tires, which is going to make it, when I get into that snowpack, to have a little bit more ground clearance on the frame, so that I'm dragging less, and then I'm less likely to lose momentum and get stuck in the snow. 5/8. So this kit is actually supposed to lift the front end up 2 inches or 2.5 inches and the back 2 inches, which is helping eliminate that factory rate and give it a lot more planted stance. If you come over here, I can show you the components that's going into this. So as you can see, for 240 bucks, you get a lot of pieces to this. So these will be your rear shock extensions. These will be the spacers that go on the springs to actually give you that height boost. These will be the front shock extensions, which will enable, obviously, your shocks to still provide the correct dampening for the increased height. And then these are going to, I believe, be the rear replacement sway bar links. And then the front ones will get replaced by the rear ones. And then this right here is your track bar relocation bracket, so to make sure that everything stays properly in line. There's also some brake line relocation brackets, and then the rest of this is the hardware needed for the install. So I'm not actually going to do a full install video. There's literally thousands of those. So what I'll do is get this installed, show you the vehicle afterwards, go for a drive, and talk about if I noticed if there's actually any difference in ride quality, and if this is something that you should consider if you're wanting to preserve the integrity of the suspension you have now on your vehicle, or if you're wanting to just run a bigger set of tires to get some improved ground clearance without investing heavily into a suspension system now. And the other thing that's really cool to note is that with these components here, this is upgradable as you go. So say, down the road your springs start to sag, is you can put in a longer spring and then still use the shock extensions until your shocks start to become worn out. Or if it's vice versa, is you can get a longer shock, remove the shock extension brackets, and still run these spacers. You can also swap out, say, the rear sway bars links that you're putting up front for adjustable or quick disconnect, and this is going to enable you to either run a larger set of tires or get that little bit of lift look without breaking the bank, and allows you to upgrade as you go. So I think it's a real bargain value, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it rides, and I'll let you guys know.
Hey YouTube, so just following up on the rough country install. So honestly, I've noticed zero change in ride quality. I've gone off-roading about 2 or 3 times, and there doesn't seem to be, it's not any rougher, especially for a Jeep. That's not something you can really afford to do. So I honestly think that this thing is a very budget-friendly way to clear some bigger tires, get a nicer looking exterior appearance, and to get a little bit more ground clearance from things like snow and mud. Obviously, without bigger tires, your diffs are not going to get any higher. But yeah, there's no change in the ride quality. I'm doing 110 right now. There's no death wobble, nothing like that. And yeah, so the only thing I would say for the install is you're going to see lots of videos online with guys installing them on lifts, and it's 100% a job that's very easy to do in your own driveway. Just make sure that you do have some spring compressors on hand, because I found for the front that with my Jeep as high as it could go on my jack stands, when I went to drop the axle, I couldn't actually drop it far enough to get the springs all the way back in with the puck on top of it. So I would say just have a spring compressor in hand. And I know a lot of guys say that they're not the safest, but for me, I think it's not safe to like completely compress a spring and pull it out, like if you're doing like, you know, McPherson struts and things like that, but just to compress it like that point, you know, like half an inch, it's really not that big of a deal. At least I don't think it is. Especially if you get ones that lock and that you can, you know, actuate with like a wrench. It's too easy. So I'd say that's the only thing about the install. And then I guess just make sure that when you lay everything out, put all the bolts and everything with it, because I found that kind of took a little bit of a time, just because the way Rough Country packages things, like for me, a logical step would be package it so that like the components, the bolts for each part of the components, whether it's the shock extensions, whether it's the you know, rear track bar relocation kit, that all those components are together. But for some reason there was some bolts and stuff mixed in different bags, and I found that just took me a little bit, just, you know, through process of elimination, which bolt went where. So just make sure you lay all that stuff out beforehand and you'll have absolutely no problem. Super easy install. If you got all the tools right, got your jack stands all lined up, it shouldn't take you more than 3 hours to do the entire thing. Yeah. Oh, so off-roading too, like I said, no change. The only thing I would say is I think maybe that it seems less like it feels like all the travel's still there in the spring, but it feels like maybe that it is under just a slight bit of compression, because it seems to spring less on the rebound when you're going over like whoops and stuff like that, and doing like repetitive whoops, or, you know, obstacles that require to rebound like continuously over. So that'd be the only thing, and to me it's really not a negative thing, because I like you know, planted and firm suspension. So anyways, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, guys. I hate having to say it, but I'm really trying to build this channel, and the more people I get subscribing, the cooler things I can do. And if you want to see me build this thing into a beast, then please just subscribe. It just takes like 5 seconds. So thanks, guys. Bye.